good. Okay. And I was very lucky to get a champion, one, twice in the area speech contest, and I think the reason why the officer team invited me here. So it sounds great, right? Yeah. I think so too. Okay. So these experiences look very good in my personal profile, but the truth is, I am not the expert of speech contest, and I'm not also absolutely right, and I cannot even teach you how to do the figure speech presentation. So the following content are all my personal sharing, and just like you, I'm still learning how to do the presentation. So hoping today at my sharing, we all can learn together to make one step further in the figure speech presentation. And here are some things I think you need to know about systems of the world of Toastmasters. In the education systems of Toastmasters International, there are designed two ways of learning for the new members. And one is so-called the communication track, and the other is the leadership track. And if you accomplish all the requirements of both tracks, and some of the slides are not shown on your handout because they are less important. But if you accomplish all the requirements of both tracks, then you will become a CTM. And what is CTM? Which means Distinguished Toastmaster CTM. And for now, most of the members in NTU Toastmasters didn't get this stage because the members usually are students, and Toastmasters system is designed for lifetime long education. So usually when you got about 40 years old, you got when you participate in NTU Toastmasters and got 40 years old, then you got CTM, maybe at that moment. And in the communication track, the members learn from delivering speeches. And there are basically two levels of communication track. It shows here the competent communication track level and the advanced communication level. And that's the word you are going to see in the agenda, like in C1, C2, and A1, A2. And in NTU Toastmasters, as well as other student Toastmasters track, most of the members are in the competent level from C1 to C10. And including me, I'm already the C9 speaker. And every level of speech has its object for all of us. And for all of us, we all start from C1. And the object of C1 is the icebreaker. And it usually means letting the others know you. Letting the others know you, breaking the ice. And actually, we all start from icebreakers. So in March 22, mark this date, we will held the freshman cup. And all the participants in the freshman cup are all C1 speakers. I think it is a good chance for you to make the first step of self-free. So I encourage all of you, mark this day, go to sign up, and don't miss it. So I think they are basically all the things you need to know first. So let me get into my study group discussion directly. To go on the stage, there are actually many things you need to prepare. But luckily, I believe you already have some of them. Let's see. You have courage to go on the stage. You have your ideas that you want to share. And maybe you already write down something inside your script. And you absolutely have the supporting audience, which is all of us. So, congratulations, you just finished the 43% of presentation preparation. So, usually these are four most important and essential elements you need when you are preparing for your speeches. And usually these four preparations are quite enough for you. However, I believe that we Toastmasters are not going here play it safe. We are here to go deep to the very deep end. So if you hope to have an excellent performance on the stage, some more effort must be done. And so what's next? Memorize the script word for word? Absolutely not. If you try to memorize script right after you finish it, it may cause some negative effect. Because the sentence inside the script right now may be stayed as a written form. And such script is not suitable for speech. So in the following SGD, I would like to introduce 5 key steps of preparing speeches. They are writing and reading modification, and self-rehearsal, and mental rehearsal, and stage understanding, eventually in front of the audience. And I suggest you to pay full attention to the concept and ideas I introduce later, because after my introduction, everyone, yes, every one of you will write a mini speech immediately, and then going on the stage, presenting for about 1 minute. And you are going to need the knowledge you learned in the following study group discussion, so you have better get ready right now. Okay? So, let's start. Bye. You can sign up, and we are just about to get into the most important part. So you are come here at the absolutely right time. So the first step is the writing and reading modification. Its main idea is simple. It's to build a bridge between you and your script, and changing the script from the reading form to the presentation form. And the reason why we do so is because we usually spend quite a long time finishing our script. And each paragraph inside your script may be revised for several times, and under different mood or so-called mind condition. So therefore, the ideas between different paragraphs usually are different, and causing the difficulties of understanding. And when we are reading such script, you can avoid this problem by comparing between different paragraphs. But if you are listening to the script, to the speeches, then such comparing won't be possible, because unless the speaker himself do it for you. Therefore, it is not suitable for you to remember your script immediately, and it is better for you to leave your script for a while and for several days at first, and then go back to the reading modification I'm going to introduce. So, what is the reading modification? The first element of reading modification are the pauses. Why do we need pauses? Because delivery speech is just like having a talk with people. And the suitable pauses are exactly a clue of important message or the turning point of a speech. So inside your speech, it is better for you to keep one pause, one idea. And when it comes to a small changes inside your speech, you give it a short pause. And when it comes to a big turning point inside your speech, you give them a long pause. And by doing so, the audience can understand your speech easier. For example, if you don't put any pauses in your speech, the sentence right here will going to be like, embarrassment is the feeling of shame when you do stupid things and unfortunately get caught by others. And it is fast, continuously, and not comprehensive. But if you can put pauses inside, it will go to be like, embarrassment is the feeling of shame when you do stupid things and unfortunately get caught by others. So by putting pauses inside, the whole paragraph will become much easier to understand. This is the power of pauses. The second element of reading modification is the logic. The importance of logic cannot be overemphasized. But how do we examine whether our script is logical or not? You know, just like you are looking at the mirror, you are always view yourself very beautiful or very handsome. And when you are looking at your script written by you, you will always think it is very logical, so logical. But so simply doing such double check is not enough. And my suggestion would be, you can first read the paragraph right after you finish it for several times, and then cover your script to see whether you can remember what you just read or not. And I call this process partial memorization. Just like the examples above, embarrassment is the feeling of shame when you do stupid things and unfortunately get caught by others. I practiced this sentence at home for several times, and I just remember that. It is so-called partial memorization. And if you are doing such process and you always get stuck in the same sentence, that means the sentence is not logical enough. For example, embarrassment is the feeling of shame when taking shower. And this sentence is strange and it's not logical because when you always get stuck at the position of taking shower, then which means taking shower is not logical enough. You need to add some more things in between the elements of the two. So if you always get stuck in the same places, they also means that the emotional weight inside is not smooth. The emotion of previous stage cannot connect to the next stage. And besides logic, you can also check your choice of words by partial memorization. And if you feel unfamiliar with your usage, or even cannot pronounce the words you use, for example, extraterritoriality, such phrases that you are common to use. If you cannot pronounce that word, then it definitely means that you should substitute the word with an easier one, no matter how loud you like the word. And the third is the content density. When you are sharing a story, you must have the experiences that you describe a lot of details at the opening and at the ending, but spending much less time at the most important part, the turning point. And in the end, the whole story will become quite pale and boring. And when it comes to this situation, it means that you didn't control the content density very well. The concept of content density is the ratio between your idea and your content. And when you are preparing your speeches, the best distribution of content density would be spending the most of the time in the most important part. And it means get rid of the content which is not so necessary. And by doing so, the audience will only focus on the thing that you care about the most and make your speeches more effective. And the last element of reading modification is time and timing. Time is simple, which means time limitation. And in the speech systems of Toastmasters, the limitation of C1 is about 4 to 6.5 minutes. And the time limitation from C2 to C9 is 5 to 7.5 minutes. And for new members, if you are preparing for a C1 speech, I would suggest you prepare for about 5.5 minutes when you are rehearsing your script, and leaving for 1 minute as the time boundary. As to timing, it is totally a different meaning. The easiest way to explain timing is the better control of punchline. What is punchline? Which means 笑点. And just like you are telling a joke, and if the punchline timing is perfect, then you can make the audience laugh. And in fact, besides punchline, all other content also has its timing. And you need to find out what is the best time for the specific content to show up. And it is not so easy. You need some experience on the stage, but it is absolutely a very important thing you need to consider about. So, after these reading modifications, now, and the script adjustment, right now is that your script is okay right now. And only when you change the script from the reading form to the presentation form, can you start to memorize it. But one thing here I would like to clarify before we get into the second part is about the form of your script. I heard that many people ask me whether I should write the script word for word, which means verbatim, 逐字稿, or only contain the outline, which means 大纲. My suggestion would be, no matter how good your English ability is, I will always suggest you write your script word for word, 逐字稿, because it is a good training for you to use the words and the phrases accurately. every great presenter I know, such as Steve Jobs or President Obama, also do so too. And as to the outline script, you can still practice, and you will have a lot of chance to practice in the evaluation speech. Because in the evaluation speech, the person who just heard the person present in the preparation session, and once he finished hearing his or her speech, we're going to have about 30 minutes to prepare for his script to go on to the evaluation. So that will be a very good training for the evaluation speech. Okay, so the second part, self-rehearsal. And if we say the reading modification is the process of to optimize your script, then the meaning of self-rehearsal is to give the script the presenting power. And I think there are basically three key points of self-rehearsal. And they are vocal variety, body language, and eye contact. Following are their introductions. First is vocal variety. Because the essence of presentation is to have the communication with the audience. So we had to introduce the concept of pauses previously, such as one idea, one pause, one idea. And which is one aspect of talking like a friend with the audience. And another aspect of helping the presenter talking like a friend with the audience is the vocal variety. And vocal variety basically refers to the speed and tone of presentation. And through vocal variety, the presenter can convey the message beyond the words, including his or her emotion and the atmosphere inside his story. And according to my experiences, there are about some tips for you to use the vocal variety. And although they won't always work for sure, but they are quite useful and easy to follow. First, when it comes to the mimicking or acting, usually we can use high pitch and diverse voice. Hi Bill, hi. It is because we usually tend to be more conservative when you are presenting yourself, yourself. But you tend to be more outgoing when you are mimicking the others. Therefore, if you can add your diversity inside your speech, then the audiences will be able to distinguish between you and the other person inside your story. So this is the first mimicking. And the second, when it comes to a description of plot, we usually use higher pitch and talk faster. The reason is simple, because the audience heard faster words, they will view these words as their content, which is less important. So subconsciously. So talking faster leaves the most of the time in the most important part. And the third is opposite to the second part. Is when it comes to the feeling of or conclusion, we usually convey those content with a lower speed and low pitch. For low pitch, for example here, in this paragraph, the basic vocal variety will go to be like this. Here, we should support you, and you will never be alone. And you will find your passion and inspiration if you never give up. Today, which is the story. With this story and my experiences, I wish the same for you all. Just bear a beginner's mind, and one day you will find the most wonderful journey in your life. And you can hear that in this part, I just go through the content with a little bit faster speed. And in this part of which is the conclusion, none of I conveyed with lower speed and lower pitch. And none of them are too exaggerated, just like showing a very big show. But with proper vocal variety, the audience can understand your idea and emotion easily. Last, when it comes to main idea and key points, we usually use slow and loud voice. And speaker is louder. Speak louder is a good way to emphasize the key points. But remember, never never overuse this kind of vocal variety. Because you know, the key point, when the key point is everywhere equals the key point is nowhere. Everywhere is key point, nowhere is the key point. So this is about all the things about vocal variety. The second key point of self-rehearsal is body language. And the body language are not limited to gesture. It also includes the body movement, walk direction, and even the expression. And if we say the script is the verbal part of your speech, then the body language is just like the non-verbal language inside. And let's talk about walking and movement first. Why do we need a walking space on the stage? For one thing, it makes your presentation more comfortable. For another, you yourself more comfortable. For another, it is a good way to cover your nervousness inside. And you must have noticed that some people will keep moving their fingers up and down on the stage. And some people will keep moving, some people will touch their hair, no matter how less or how much hair he or she got. And some people will keep waving from here to there, and here to there. And some people will holding the microphone, which is so tight that just like the audience will grab this microphone. And all these actions are actually and all this action is simply because he or she is nervous. But if you can use, it is really hard to get rid of